On to a new session, and in this session we are going to learn how to use the AWS Lightsail service. So please review the presentation in the previous lesson, and where I have given a bit of a you know explanation about what is the difference between EC2 and Lightsail. Why Lightsail is a lot simpler, but where Lightsail is effective and where EC2 is effective. All right, so I've explained all of this in the previous presentation, so please do go through that. And yes, so let's dive straight into the topic. So what we are going to be doing here is we are going to be deploying a WordPress instance on the AWS Lightsail platform. So conventionally, if we are going to deploy the WordPress, so the options that we have through the EC2 is like, if we have to select the entire, we have to go through the entire process of the EC2 setup. While we do have the option of selecting a customized operating system where there is WordPress from the AWS marketplace. However, it needs a lot of it requires a lot of configuration there. Let's say now there is with the AWS Lightsail, it is going to be saving a lot of time. Why? Because we have pre-configured templates which AWS is providing us. So when we talk about pre-configured templates, let's open up the dashboard first. That would give us a better idea there. So clicking on the services, the Lightsail is under the compute. And once you go under compute, you should see the Lightsail here. And once you click on Lightsail, we should be having the Lightsail dashboard. So within the Lightsail dashboard, we have the option to spin up instances, containers, databases, networking, storage, and managing snapshots also. So we have a lot of options within the Lightsail itself. However, for the purpose of this demonstration, we will be focusing on setting up a WordPress instance on the Amazon Lightsail platform, right? Okay, let me go ahead and click on create instance now. So yes. So once I click on create instance, I can select the region from where I want to deploy this WordPress instance. So if I want to change this, I have a few other options here. So but I'll continue to use Northern Virginia here for the purpose of this demonstration. So I'm not going to be changing the availability zone. The next option is to select the platform and the blueprint. So what is this? A platform is mostly either Linux or the Windows platform. And as for the Linux, we have what's showing here as 28 blueprints. So what are these blueprints? So blueprints are typically predefined templates. So let's say if I want to deploy a WordPress instance, so I don't have to go through the entire process of setting up the EC2 and then installing WordPress onto it and configuring it manually. Rather than that, all the requirements are preset, and the database required for running the WordPress, the LAMP stack, the dependencies of the WordPress is all installed completely, and from there WordPress is also deployed for us, and we are getting the WordPress dashboard to be accessed. So we don't have to spend time in all this configuration. So what typically takes like about a 40 to 45 minutes configuration for setting up a WordPress instance on a Linux machine on the AWS platform is reduced hardly to a few minutes, like about 5 to maximum 7 minutes of time is what we require there. So under the Linux and Unix world, we have WordPress multi-site, the LAMP stack, Node.js, Django, noticeably, then the cPanel. We have Nginx, so it's pretty cool that we don't have to go and do any of this configuration when we are using the Amazon Lightsail. It is so simple there. All right, and as for the Windows world, you have the 3 Windows Server options here, and we do have the SQL Server 2016 Express also available to us. However, for this demonstration, we are going to be doing the WordPress, and here the WordPress is coming from Bitnami. All right, so Bitnami is one of the leaders in application packaging and experts behind WordPress. So, what Bitnami has already packaged the entire WordPress prerequisites, and it's already configured as a whatever configuration is required is set up there. So it's pretty much from Bitnami. We can choose this from the If you're going to be deploying it on the EC2, we can still choose it from the AWS marketplace also. It's available there. All right. So let's say if we are going to go through the EC2, and let's say we are going to launch an instance, so we can get it there from the marketplace also, but we get an option to go ahead and give a better, choose a bigger size of bigger, or an instance with more resources. All right, so let me say I want to launch an instance here. So launch instance, and AWS marketplace, and within the AWS marketplace, if you can search for WordPress, we should see a lot of options from WordPress, Nginx and SSL certified by Bitnami and automatic, WordPress on Lightspeed Cache. So it's available there on the marketplace also. But let's say the option why we are using the Lightsail is because, let's say you're not going to be managing a huge environment. Let's say it's going to be a smaller environment, and you want to spend lesser time, configuration on the configuration of the environment. So that is where the Lightsail is effective. All right. So now I've selected the WordPress here. And if you want to add any launch script, we have the option to add the launch script like bootstrapping. And, I have already created a key pair which is called as AWS KP Northern Virginia. However, if you want to change that, you can go ahead and create a new one here using the option you're creating, using this option. But I'm not going to do that. I'll use the AWS KP Northern Virginia. It's a key pair which I already have with me. All right. So the best part here is now comes with the instance plan. All right. So like how we choose the T2 micro, or R type of instances, all the different type of instances that we have with the EC2. Likewise, we have the different types of instances here. So you get the list of instances and their pricing when deploying the Bitnami here. All right. So we have a lot of options here also. However, we are not going to do that. All right. So we'll go with this Lightsail now. So I'll go with the very minimal one. So it's going to be charging, I'm going to be charged like $3.50 per month. And that too, I'm getting my first 3 months as free. But this is a very minuscule machine with just 512 MB of RAM, 1 vCPU and 20 GB SSD. And I get 1 TB of transfer per month. All right. Or if you want to scale up, also we have the options here. So we get up to 32 GB and 8 vCPUs, but that's going to cost us $160. So, these are, so there is always improvements on the AWS, right? So they do keep introducing new, sizes there. So I'll just leave it here at 3.5, or probably I'll go for this 10 USD one just for the testing purpose, because I'm going to be running it for a very little time. All right. So I'll call this as WordPress instance 1. That's the default name. It's automatically generated. So I'll just leave it as it is. And if you want to increase the number of instances, we have the option to increase the number of instances. However, I'll leave it at 1 here. All right. And create instance. And that's about it. My instance is already getting ready for me. Now, it is going to take a while for us, because remember, it has to, deploy the instance. Then it has to deploy the prerequisites such as the Apache web server. Then it has to deploy the MySQL. Then it has to deploy the PHP. Then it has to deploy the WordPress. So there is a lot of configuration that's going to be happening at the background. So while that's happening, let's pause the video, and I'll come back to it once it's completed. All right. So now the instance has completely started and it's up and running. So let me copy this IP address first and let me try to access it. I should be able to see the website. Yes, so I see a WordPress website which is deployed here. But remember, I'm accessing the website through the IP address directly. We will come to this in the later part in the Route 53 and how to assign the IP address to the URL. All right. But for now, let's go ahead and handle this particular one. So we have the server up and running, and we have a WordPress instance which is delivering a website for us. But how to go and access the backend of the WordPress? See, normally how we do is, let's say any WordPress website you want to go and access the WordPress website's background. What we do is we will be using the URL or the IP address followed by the wp-admin, and you will be seeing this backend. All right. So, but this needs the login ID and the password. So how to fetch that? We will find it right now. So what you have to do is click on this particular icon here. All right, and we should be connected. This is pretty much like the EC2 instance connect only. And now from here, type in cat bitnami hyphen application just a second there. Okay, so that's bitnami underscore application underscore password. All right. Okay, that's cat bitnami underscore application underscore password, and that is the password for accessing the backend of the WordPress website. So the moment I highlight this, if you can see here, there will be a clipboard, and that is got activated for us, and it is showing us the password. So copy this, go to the backend of the WordPress, and here the standard username you have to provide is the user, and paste the password which we picked it up from the website. Yes, and now we are able to log on to the backend of the WordPress website. And yes, we can go ahead and install whatever services you want, and you have a completely up and running content management system for us with the WordPress. So that's the way we are going to be deploying a WordPress instance on the AWS Lightsail. And please do, after having tested all this, please do remember to destroy all the resources which you had created during this particular test phase. All right. Thank you very much for watching this session, and I'll meet you in another session.